Yes, good morning, everyone. I welcome you again in my next class series, that is next chapter, that is secondary metabolite production. So, in this class, we will discuss about the secondary metabolite production through the tissue culture. Okay, what is the secondary metabolite? How we can produce the different secondary metabolite by using a cell culture lines? And what are the advantages of secondary metabolite production through using the cell culture? So basically, we all know about the secondary metabolite. Yeah, what is the secondary metabolite? So let's start with the introductions. Higher plant synthesize a wide variety of the low molecular weight compound. Okay. So higher plant, each and every higher plant, with this they are able to synthesize variety of the low molecular weight compound. In addition to the essential primary metabolite. So definitely there are certain metabolite or metabolic compounds which are synthesized during the different metabolic physiological pathways. Okay, so those are the primary because they are required by the plant and they utilized by the plant for their normal growth and development and reproductions. But in addition to those primary metabolite, there are other metabolite which are not utilized by the plant itself. Okay, they are not utilized by the plant itself. So, so those compounds are called as secondary metabolites. These secondary metabolites offer protections against the pest. They act as attractant and the plant's own hormone. And the plant's own hormone. They generally these secondary metabolites they provide advantage to the plants by the protection against the different insect and pest, in which they act as a attractant to that. Okay, so these secondary metabolites, these low molecular weight compounds, are structurally complex. So they are structurally somewhat complex. So these secondary metabolites have high value metabolites, which are biosynthesized through phenylpropanoate mevalonate pathway. Secondary metabolites have an important role in the interactions between plants and their environment. Means they can perform different variety of the functions like defense against the herbivores. They can because they are secondary metabolites act as a defense against the herbivores and pathogens, protection against the UV light also. They are accumulated. So when the secondary metabolite productions are done in the plants, they get accumulated. They get accumulated in a specific tissue and their structures like vacuoles, specialized glands, trichomes, and their application is affected by the several factors like genotype, plant physiology, climate, environment, environmental conditions, and pathogens. Environmental condition and pathogens. In some cases, they are only produced during the certain developmental stages. So there are certain plant species in which they are produced at a particular growth stage, particular growth and developmental stage, not throughout the life period of the plant. They are not produced, but yes, at a particular stage they are going to produce. So we are trying to, isolating these abstractions, structural electrician evaluation of the biological activity of many plant secondary metabolites. So plant tissue culture technique. Plant tissue culture techniques were evenly endorsed by the Food and Agriculture Organization to safe for the production of these compounds. So in this class, we will discuss about the different advantages using plant cell cultures, tissue cultures for the production of plant secondary metabolite, as well as different biotechnological approach to improve their productions. Okay. So next is why we need to study the secondary metabolite. Chemically, warfare to protect the plants from the attractants from predators, pathogens, and competitors. So they are providing various immense advantage to the plants. That's why plants are able to synthesize these secondary metabolites. So in the nature, if you see any living organism are not doing anything without any purposes. Each and every organism have their purpose to production any kinds of chemical compounds. So chemically, this warfare to protect the plants from the attractant, protect the plant from the attractant by the predators, pathogens, and competitors. Then second advantage is attract the pollinator seeds, dispersal agent, pollinator seed and dispersal agent. Important for abiotic stresses. These are important for the abiotic stresses. Medicine purpose, they have large medicinal values. That's why the plants are able to synthesize these compounds. Industrial additives. Some secondary metabolites are act as industrial additives. Industrial additives. That's why the plants are synthesizing those compounds, and we are using them as a human value additional. Okay. Then, if we try to classify those secondary metabolites based on the chemical structure, we can classify them based on the chemical structure. What are the chemical structures? Chemical composition, chemical structure, chemical composition, solubility in different solvent, solubility in different solvent. Then pathway by which they are synthesized. There is certain pathway like mevalonic acid pathway by which they are synthesized in the plants. So these are the four different categories on that basis we can classify them. Okay. Now there is a simple classification of secondary metabolites which include the three different main groups. So based on all this, we can classify them in three different major groups. First is the terpenes. First group is terpene. Terpene is made from the mevalonic acid, which is composed almost entirely of carbon and hydrogen. Terpene. First group is terpene. Second is phenolic. Third one is nitrogen containing compound. Third one is nitrogen uh, containing compounds. Okay. Terpenes. Terpenes are synthesized from through the mevalonic acid pathways. Which these terpenes are, if you talk about the chemical composition, they are completely composed of entirely carbon and hydrogen. Carbon and hydrogen. Phenolics. Phenolics made from the simple sugar. Phenolics made from the simple sugars, which contain benzene rings, hydrogen and oxygen. Phenolic made from the simple sugar, containing benzene rings, hydrogen and oxygen. In addition to that carbon hydrogen, they contain phenolics compound contain benzene ring, hydrogen and oxygen. Next, nitrogen containing compounds obviously extremely diverse, so they may also contain some sugar. They may also contain sugar, sulfur sorry. They may contain the sulfur also. Nitrogen containing compounds. Now we'll talk about the alkaloids. What are their features? What are alkaloids? These alkaloids are mostly derived from a few common amino acids. Alkaloids are derived from a common amino acids like tyrosine, tryptophan, ornithine, arginine, and lysine. So these are the few important amino acids from which these alkaloids are synthesized. So there is sometimes question has been asked the precursor amino acid for the synthesis of alkaloids. So you can quote the name like tyrosine, tryptophan, ornithine, or arginine. Ornithine or arginine you can say, and lysine. Lysine, tryptophan, tyrosine, ornithine, or arginine. These are the precursors alkaloids for the alkaloid synthesis. Next, compound they have a ring structure and nitrogen residue. These compounds have ring structure in that. They have ring structure and nitrogen residue. They have ring structure, nitrogen residues. The indole alkaloid is the largest group. Indole alkaloids is the largest group in the family, which is derived from the tryptophan. Derived from the These are widely used as a medicine. Now we will see the characteristic features of these alkaloids. They are bitter in the taste. They are bitter in the taste. They are derived from the amino acids, different amino acids. They are derived from the different amino acids. Because as right now we have discussed the precursor for alkaloid biosynthesis in alkaloids is tryptophan, tyrosine, lysine, and ornithine or arginine. So mostly these secondary metabolites are derived from the different class of amino acids. So the amino acids are the most oftenly served as alkaloids precursors, as phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, histidine, anthranilic acids, lysine, ornithine, arginine. There is a long list of these amino acids, which are act as a precursor for the alkaloid synthesis. Next is alkaloids form double salt. Alkaloids form double salt with compounds of mercury, gold, platinum, and other heavy metals. These alkaloids form double salt with compounds of mercury, gold, platinum, and other heavy metals. These salts are often as a precipitated, which are microcrystal, insoluble or sparingly soluble in water. But the salt form reactions with acid are usually freely soluble, insoluble or sparingly soluble in water. They are insoluble in water or very less. But the salt form on reactions with acids are usually freely soluble. These are mostly crystalline solids, although a few are amorphous. Free alkaloids. The free alkaloids are usually soluble in polar solvent, like ether, chloroform. The free alkaloids are usually soluble in the polar solvent, like ether, chloroform. Some alkaloids are liquid because of lacking of different oxygen in their molecules, like nicotine, aspartame. Some alkaloids are liquid in the nature because of lacking oxygen in their molecules. If we talk about the stores and occurrence of these alkaloids can occur in plant kingdom among the angiosperms, like Leguminosae, Papaver, Ranunculales, Rubiaceae, Solanaceae, Barbaridaceae are outstanding alkaloids which yielding the different plants. So among the angiosperm, these are the four family. The plant belong to the alkaloids. These alkaloids are present in those plants which belong to these kinds of families. Leguminosae, Papaver, Ranunculales, Rubiaceae, Solanaceae, Bar- Barbaridaceae. Use of alkaloids in the plants. Poisonous agents which protect plants against insect and herbivores. These are poisonous agents. Alkaloids act as poisonous, which protect the plants against insect and pest. End product of detoxification reactions representing a metabolic locking up of compounds. Otherwise, they are harmful to the plants. End product of detoxification. End product of detoxification reactions, which representing a metabolic locking up of compounds. Otherwise, they are harmful to the plants. Therefore, regulatory growth factors. They reserve the substances which capable of supplying nitrogens or other elements necessary to the plant's economy. The reserve substances which is capable of supplying nitrogens or other elements which is necessary to the plant's economy. Terpene. Terpenes are natural products that are structurally related to the isoprene. Terpenes are natural products. They are the natural products that are structurally related to isoprene. Structurally related to isoprene. You can see the structure of terpene here. This is the 5 carbon compounds. Structure having isopropane. You can call them isopropane. Double bond is there, isopropene. So we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 methyl, 1, 3 butadiene. 1, 3 butadiene. So this is the structure of terpene. So these terpenes are the natural product that are structurally related to isoprene. It is structurally related to isoprene. So the number of carbon atoms is multiple of the 5, you can say. 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, likewise. Each group of 5 carbon is isoprene unit. So this is the polymer, you can say polymerization of the isoprene units. So when more than one isoprene units comes and join together, they start to uh, form a polymer chain that is known as terpenes. So each group of five carbon is an isoprene subunit. They can be saturated or unsaturated. They may contain oxygen atom as well. They may contain oxygen atom as well. Next is phenolics. Phenolic compounds are generally derived from the you can say aromatic amino acids. They are derived from aromatic amino acids. So aromatic amino acids act as a precursor for the phenolic biosynthesis. So the aromatic amino acid is phenylalanine, tyrosine, and tryptophan. So the phenolic contains structural derived from the phenols. Some example is coumarins, coumarins, antimicrobial agents. Coumarins is antimicrobial agents. Feeding deterrents, and germination inhibitors. Coumarins are antimicrobial agents. They are antimicrobial agents, feeding deterrents, and germination inhibitors. Next is lignin. Lignin is abundant in secondary cell wall. Lignin is abundant in secondary cell wall. Abundant in secondary cell wall. Rigid and resistant to extractions or many degradations regions. Lignins are abundant in secondary cell wall, are somewhat rigid and resistant to extractions or many degradation regions. Anthocyanin, flavonols, flavonols, phenols are the present in every plant. They attract pollinator. They attract a pollinator to the plants and even impact how these plants act with one another. So these phenol compounds are present in each and every plant. So they mainly attract the different class of pollinators to the plants and even impact how these plants act with one another. One another. Glycosides. Compounds that contain a carbohydrate and a non-carbohydrate. Glycosides are compounds that contain either carbohydrate or a non-carbohydrate. Glycosides are present in vacuole in inactive form. These glycosides are present in inactive form in the vacuoles. Glucosinolates, which are found primarily in the mustard family. Glucosinolates found primarily in mustard family to give the pungent taste. Pungent taste. There are four types of linkage which present between glyconyl and aglyconyl. That is carbon linkage, glycosidic bond is there, carbon linkage, oxygen linkage, glycosidic bond is there, nitrogen linkage is there, and sulfur linkage. Carotenoids are the organic pigments which occur in the plant naturally and are mostly found in red orange color, yellow fruits, vegetables. Found in red orange, yellow fruits and vegetables. Okay. So this is the major source of the different secondary metabolites. They have antioxidative effect. They have antioxidative effect. They have antioxidative effect in preventing cancers. They boost the immune system. They boost immune system and reduce the risk of heart attack. They boost the immune system and reduce the risk of heart attack. That's what the carotenoids are important. Phytosteroids. Phytosteroids. They are found in sunflower seeds. Phytosterols are found in sunflower seeds. Sesame, nut, sesame, nut, and soybean protect against colon cancer, low, low cholesterol level. Low cholesterol level. Now, saponins. Next is saponins. Saponins are the flavor additives which are found in legumes. Which are found in legume and spinach. They boost the immune system. They also increase the immune system. To boost the immune system. Lower the cholesterol level in blood, reduce the risk of intestinal cancer. They reduce the risk of intestinal cancer. Next is flavonoids. Flavonoids are the organic pigments. They give plant red, violet, or blue color. They give plant red, violet, or blue color. They inhibit the growth of bacteria and viruses. They inhibit the growth of bacteria and viruses. Protect the cells against damage of the free radicals. To protect the cells against the damage of free radicals. Influence the blood coagulations. Blood coagulation. Next is sulfide compounds. Sulfide compounds they contain the sulfur. Belongs to lily family. It belongs to lily family. Onion, leeks, asparagus, garlic. Inhibit the growth of bacteria. They also inhibit the growth of bacteria. They also go for the lower the cholesterol level, preventing effect against the cancer. Curcumins, curcumins from the uh, curcumins, extracted from turmeric. Curcumins is extracted from the turmeric. Coloring and medicinal uses. Coloring and medicinal purpose. Wound healing, wound healing, anti-ulcer, anti-inflammatory properties. So this curcumin is long list of medicinal values: wound healing, anti-ulcer, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antiviral, hepatoprotective, antioxidant. There is no toxicity. So this curcumin have so this is curcumin is nothing but it's different class of alkaloids or secondary metabolite we can say. So this is have long list of medicinal value in that, which is extracted from the turmeric. Coloring or medicinal uses, wound healing, anti-ulcers. If we talk about the different flavors, from the we can get these flavors from the cocoa seeds, vanilla, strawberry, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, pepper, areca nuts. Now, production of secondary metabolites. Production of secondary metabolites in the culture of bioreactors and tissue culture. So, production of secondary metabolite in culture is depend on choice of experiment. Actually, what is our main objective behind that? So first we need to identify choice of explant. Okay, which explant I have to take. Suppose our objective is to first we have to target the secondary metabolite. Which secondary metabolite we want to produce into the tissue culture. So tissue culture. So accordingly we have to choose the explant. Explant that is any part of the plant that can be used for the initiation of tissue culture in vitro culture. Dicotyledons are the rather amenable for the callus tissue. They are procured explants which are sterilized prior to culture by using the ethanols. Okay. Means we have to wipe out or properly we have to wash these explants and sterilize prior to using the culture by the ethanols. So any microbial contamination should not be there. Next, we have to induce the callus from an explant. To cultivate the callus as cell in suspension, we have to induce the explant, cultivate the callus in cell culture. So then callus inductions. A callus cell culture is usually sustained on gel medium. Callus inductions medium consists of agar and a mixture of macronutrients. A micronutrient for the given cell type. There are several types of the vessel salt mixtures and used in the plant tissue culture, but most notably modify the Morashiko in school medium, white medium, and woody plant medium is used. Vitamins are also provided to enhance the growth, such as Gamberg with vitamins. For plant cells, enrichment with nitrogen, phosphorus protection is especially important for injections. Next, suspension culture. The growth rate of suspension culture is generally faster than the solid culture. The former is more desirable, particularly for production of useful secondary metabolite on large scale. So then, what are the different secondary metabolites instrument used to produce the secondary metabolite? That is ferment or bioreactor the secondary metabolite. So this is a carbo system which is described by the Kulak and Nickel in 1959, which consists of a rubber stopper, 20 liter of carbon filtrate with 4 tubes. Then filtered compressed air is employed for the oxygen supply, aeration, and agitation of the medium. Then start the jar fermenters used for the microbial cultivation also. Agitation speed should be nearly 50 to 100 rpm. So this is the structure of this carbon systems. Here you can see the motor used for the starting purpose. Mixed with baffle agitator is there, cooling jacket. The hairy root culture. So this is an important culturing product, culturing protocol that is used after the infection of X plant. It cultures by the gram-negative soil bacteria from rhizospores. This process takes advantage of naturally occurring hairy root disease in the diet. Agrobacterium recognizes some signal molecules that is exudated by the wounded plants and become attached to the wheat. Become attached to it. The bacteria which contain the root-inducing plasmid, like RI plasmid, the bacteria genetically transfer part of the RI plasmid called tRNA to the plant genome. That is Agrobacterium tumefaciens, TDM. It naturally transfer into the plant genome. That's why this bacteria is also known as natural genetic engineer. Next, the plant cell to proliferate by increasing the rate of cell division, cytokine expressions, and cell elongations, or gene expansions to produce a hairy root. Produce the opine, which is a type of unusual amino acids, octopine, agropine, nopelline, menopine, picumopine, which is used by the bacterium as a carbon nitrogen energy source. Next is induction of hairy root culture in vitro. Induction of hairy root culture in vitro. Explants are wounded and then inoculated with the Agrobacterium rhizogenes. Usually, there are 2 to 3 days later, explants can be transferred to the solid medium with antibiotics such as cephaloxime, vancomycin, ampicillin, to kill or eliminate the redundant bacteria. The hairy root will be induced within a short period of time, which varies from 1 week to over a month, depending upon different plant species. Then the decontaminated hairy root can be subcultured on phytohormone-free medium. So you can see here uh, how secondary metabolite productions is leading to the. Then we look for some example of commercial production of secondary metabolites. Before that, what are the advantages of using these plants as a tissue culture? What is the advantage of plant tissue culture techniques for the secondary metabolites? That we are doing. So we know very well that plant secondary metabolites from the industries are also nowadays demand is also increasing. So this plant product with simple chemical structure can be produced by the chemosynthesis process. However, there are many compounds like alkaloids which are difficult to synthesize or cost of their synthesis somewhat high in commercial markets. So some compounds can obtain naturally from the growing plants. Because chemosynthesis is somewhat costly as compared to natural synthesis. Although the concentration in natural synthesis is somewhat less. So this natural synthesis of these compounds are reduce the cost of these compounds. There is an environmental restriction which can limit the commercial productions. Although the traditional cultivation of this some plant species of several years. Plant cell tissue culture techniques appear as a environmental friendly, which give a alternative method, give a alternative methods for the production of secondary metabolite when natural supply is limited and traditional methods are unfeasible. The mass propagation of plants in aseptic or environmental control conditions and the large-scale production of secondary metabolite in a year-round systems with seasonal constant. There are some advantages of plant tissue culture technique. So that these cultures can be established in any part of the world independently of the plant growth, which is requisite and free of microbes. An insect which avoiding the use of pesticides and herbicides. Pesticide and herbicides. Plant tissue culture techniques provide a reliable and predictable method for isolating the secondary metabolites as a high efficiency within a short period of time as compared to extraction from the wild plant populations. So we can see the simplicity in extraction of the metabolites from in vitro which are produced tissue make them uplifted for the commercial applications. Apart from the advantage, these metabolites that are generally not found in the intact plant can also be produced in vitro cultures. So, as agricultural biotechnology open the different ways to apply the traditional metabolic engineering strategy to promote the accumulation of desired compound by in vitro culture. The product from in vitro cultures can still use full model of whole plants. Cell culture can be radio-labeled, so secondary metabolite can be traced metabolically. So there is a massive indiscriminate collection of the plant material from the plant producing bioactive compounds threaten the survival of these compounds. Now, if we talk about different method strategies which is used to employ to improve the secondary metabolite productions. So this have been generally the selection of explant is made by the analyzing the cell or tissue organ growth, then the quantifying and desired product by chromatography and spectroscopic techniques. So generally, the traditional method, if we talk about traditional method, is that we have to start the culture medium compositions, culture media composition, media pH, inoculum density, culture media environment like temperature, light, density, quantity, then agitation, aerations, the culture medium which strongly affect the biomass and metabolite productivity. The selection of the suitable culture media is a very important step. Then secondary metabolites are produced by the plant in response to environmental stimuli or as a defense mechanism against the different class of the infections through the pathogens. So in this sense, the strategy available to improve the productivity of secondary metabolite. Elicitations aims to misguide the cells of tissue of a possible biotic abiotic attack by using agent that trigger the defense response. Elicitor have ability to control an array of cellular activity at the biochemical and molecular level, since they induce the upregulation of the genes. So they so inherent characteristic of hormone autotrophy with control the growth, biosynthesis, genetic stability of distinctiveness. So if we talk about the permeabilization of the plant cell membrane, which chemically use different electric fields, then cultivated cells have capacity for the biotransformation of supplied compounds, which are not necessarily natural intermediate of the plant metabolites into the high value compounds. Okay, so these compounds, secondary metabolites can be used as a pesticide, drug, natural insecticide, also some dietary supplemented drugs. So in case of different culture systems, the secondary metabolite productions like callus culture for the production of colchicines in the Gloria superworld. Callus formation was induced using corn bud with the culture on B5 growth medium B5 growth medium supplemented. It has been seen the cultured plant cells from the root or some higher plants tends to produce a secondary metabolite, and the agrobacterium root culture tends to generate the huge amount of different phytochemicals and secondary metabolites. So I can quote example of Artemisia. Artemisia tends to produce from Agrobacterium rhizogenus, Artemisia, and this Agrobacterium annua, which is regarded as an alternative to the chloroquines for the treatment of malaria. The Thura species also, Atropa belladonna, tends to be used in cosmetic and different pharmaceuticals companies. So there is a long list of these successful examples. Now, production of one valine is regarded as an important drug precursor, utilizing E. coli for the metabolic engineering also. Okay. So, as traditionally directly we can use so many of valic compounds. Next is through genetic engineering of plant microbial interactions also we can start this synthesis of different secondary metabolite. Next concept is biotransformation. Actually, what is biotransformation? Biotransformations is nothing but which involve the formation of a new product without addition of a whole precursor into the culture media of the plant cell. instead of biotransformation, the suitable substrate into the desired product. For the production of the digoxin is well-known secondary metabolite which is used for the cardiac glycosides by transformation of beta methyl digitoxin to beta methyl digoxins using uh, the Datura-Lenata cells. Datura-Lenata cells. So we can compete the different plant cells to synthesize as different secondary metabolite in that. So plants and their culture which show response toward the physical, molecular, chemical factors are regarded as elicitors. So these elicitations is a measure where the production of synthesis of secondary metabolite from the plants with increased survival. With increased survival. So affect elicited treatment affect the demonstrations regarding the production of glyoregins from the suspension culture of the Abrus piccata. Abrus piccata. So commercial production of secondary metabolite, the higher plant which contain variety of metabolic products, which are useful as medicinal, food additive, perfume, etc. However, the non-compromising reductions in plant source, increase in labor cost, and other problems in order to obtain these high-value compounds. In order to obtain these high-value added substances from the natural plants, they have been forced to develop an alternative approach toward the use of plant cell culture for production of these metabolic products. Since the plant tissue culture is not affected by the changes in the environment, such as climate or natural predations, which improve the production of possibly. Next is pharmaceutically important chemicals. So first is codeine. Codeine is an important analgesics and cough suppressing drug that is obtained from the papaver somnifera. Papaver somnifera. That is also morphines can be converted into the codeine. There are many workers have tried to produce codeines by undifferentiated cells of these plants. So this is pharmaceuticals important drug codeines from the papaver somnifera. Next is berberine. Berberine is a isoquinoline alkaloid, isoquinoline alkaloids, which produced and distributed from the root of Coptis japonica. Berberine from the roots of Coptis japonica and cortex of Phalandoron amurensis. Phalandoron amurensis. Berberine chlorides is used in the treatment of intestinal disorder. It's the intestinal disorder. Berberine drug. Next is terpene alkaloids. Scopolamine and hyoscyamin are used commercially as an anesthetic and antispasmodic drug, which occur in the leaf of member of the family like Solanaceae, which including Divosia myoporites, Datura, Scopolia, Atropa, hyoscyamus. So these plant species are synthesizing scopolamine and hyoscyamines, which is used as anesthetic drug. Now, there are some anti-tumor compounds which are generally used for the synthesis of different secondary metabolites like vinca alkaloids. Vinca alkaloids, which is extracted from the Catranthus rosea, which is extracted from the Catranthus rosea. Vinca alkaloids. So this is generally used to treat the leukemias, Hodgkin's disease, and anti-tumor activity. Anti-tumor activity. Hodgkin disease, Hopkins, anti-tumor activity. Vinca alkaloid from Catharanthus rosea. Next is ginseng. Ginseng is widely used as a tonic, strong tonic, which is effective at genetic disorder, diabetes, and weak circulations. Effective for the genetic disorders, diabetes, and weak circulations. The ginsengs generally obtained from the root, which contain the saponins and sapogenins. Saponin and sapogenins. Next is food coloring agent. Saffron. Saffrons are obtained from the stamens of Crocus sativus and used as flavoring agent and colorant. Used from the stamens of Crocus sativus. Crocus sativus and used as flavoring agent and colorant. This is made from the plant which contain crocin. Made from the plant contain crocin. Crocin means that is a yellow pigment. Crocin is nothing but it's a yellow pigments. Saffron and fragrance, picocrocins, bitter substrate, baked goods, soap, cheese, medicinal value for stomach ailments. Stomach ailments. Saffrons. Staphylococcus is a flavoring agent. That. Next is safflower, yellow in color. Safflower. Obtained from the florets of Carthamus tinctorius. Safflower, yellow, alveolar. That is obtained from the florets of Carthamus tinctorius. Carthamus tinctorius. It's a yellow pigment. It's a yellow pigment. A major pigment is carthamin. Major pigment is carthamin. Carthamin is a quinoid form of isocarthamin, which is used in baked good and beverage. Used in the baked good beverage. Carthamus tinctorius. Florets of Carthamus tinctorius often a flower yellow alkaloids act as a food coloring agents. We are using them as a food coloring agents. Okay. So there is a long list of the secondary metabolites which we are using in that cases. So uh, there are some selected example like vinblastine, vincristine from the Catharanthus roseus, vinblast anti-cancer drug, vinblastine, vincristines, camptothecins from the Camptothecia accumulation, Camptothecia accumulation. Similarly, some plant species like Mentha peppers, which are synthesizing methyl jasmonate, methyl jasmonate. Rosamarinus officinalis is synthesizing a different elicitors like UVB, synthesizing different UVB. Next is chewing gums, chewing gums chicle. Chewing gums is this chicle is a raw material which is obtained from the latex of Acrus sapota, from the Acrus sapota. Chicle contains 60% of resin and 50% of the rubber. 60% of resin and 15% of the rubber. So this resin consists of ripio, alpha amyrine and beta amyrine, alpha and beta amyrine. Rubber which consists of cis and trans 1,4-polyisopropyl, polyisopropyl, synthesized through mevalonic acid pathway. Next is Taxol. Taxol it is a diterpene amide. It's a diterpene amide, which is extracted from the bark of wild Taxus brevifolia, which treats the breast and lung cancer. Treats the breast and lung cancer. So, from these examples, now we can conclude this class as a plant cell and tissue culture techniques are attractive systems for the cultivation of different class of secondary metabolite, which include the alkaloids with anti-cancer property, different bioactive phenolic compounds, and the flavoring agent. So the alternative which provide continuous, sustainable, economic, and viable production of secondary metabolites that is independent from the geographic and environmental locations. These are the particularly useful for the production of a species at risk. Despite the great progress in this area in last decades, there are some cases whose productions occur at very low yield. These are the many difficulties scaling up the productions and limited commercial success is achieved. So there are some incomplete knowledge about different biosynthetic pathway also for different bioactive molecules make the limitations for the improvement in the production. Now, exploitations of modern molecular biology technique, which emerge as alternative that need to harness the improved production of efficiency by engineering the different biosynthetic pathway of the molecules in plant cells. They also promising new elicitors, formalizing agents such as coronation cyclodextrins. Production of bioactive molecules in endophytes also appear an attractive alternative. So this is all about the today's class. Thank you. This is today's class. Thank you.